You know, Vortex, I bitch about this a lot, but the state of comedy is pretty dismal for a reason. People always blame political correctness, but that's not the reason. The reason why comedy is in the state that it's in is because people choose to stare at their phones all day, okay? And that makes people boring. Imagine that. People that do this all day, they're not very interesting. Big shocker, right? Well, there's a lot of stuff that people bitch about. That's accurate. You know, a lot of stuff that's wrong with the culture, a lot of stuff that's wrong with the education system, a lot of stuff that's wrong with, the system and our political parties and shit like that. But it's like, you don't have comedians that actually hate the right stuff. Like, there's one seemingly conservative comedian who, like, she's really offensive. And I say that in air quotes because, like, it's so predictable, you know? It's just like when a liberal says stuff that's politically correct in order to get clapture, you know what I'm talking about? Like when people say fuck Trump, or they say who eats ass in here, or what type of porn do y'all watch, you know? That's something that will win the audience that's degenerate and fine with it, you know? Well, I've noticed that people that think they're edgy, once again with the air quotes, it's like, because of technology, because all these motherfuckers do is stare at a screen and they're trying to please the algorithm and they want likes and they want approval and shit, it's like, they really don't know how to be edgy. They really don't know how to take a real risk. So it might seem like a risk in regards to their career. It might seem like a risk in regards to, like, oh, society's mad about this. But it's really not a risk if you compare it to the things that they've already said. Or their identity. Like, the way that they see themselves. Like what I've said before about everybody being caricatures. It's like, it's hard for people to be a character if they don't actually have characteristics that are unique, you know? So it seems like everybody is just, homogenizing. And you definitely see this with language. I mean, that's the whole point of hashtags. That's the whole point of trends, okay? But every time I go on Instagram, I regret going on Instagram because it just reminds me of this very thing. And I know that there are some people on social media that are doing something different. I mean, I'm one of them, obviously. But this is a blogging channel. I'm talking specifically about, Instagram and, Twitter, Facebook, things like that. I mean, I'm sure you can use that social network as a way to actually find people like you. I guess that's the whole point, right? I keep hearing great things about Facebook Marketplace. But you have to be on Facebook, though. Yeah, it's terrible. I was on Facebook back in, 2006, and it was really bad then. That was in its, rudimentary stage, so if I knew during its rudimentary stage how bad it was going to be, because it already felt bad enough then, I just pay a lot of attention to my body, and I pay a lot of attention to, what's happening to me as a result of my behavior. So if I'm doing something repeatedly throughout the day that makes me more anxious or more depressed or more likely to, you know, waste a bunch of time and be in the dark like the majority of society, right? The majority of society really is in the dark. It's really sad that they choose to be. But I guess it's not a choice, though, because it's like, well, if everybody's doing it, I feel like they don't think it's a choice, and like they don't have the option to say no to that. You know what I mean? Trying to empathize a little bit. So it's way easier to not do that. It's way easier to just yell at them and say that they're wrong and stupid and everything. But, you know, I feel like I do that enough with my posters. Like, my posters are like the spiritual, narcissistic, schizophrenic part of me. And if it's artistic, then it's kind of cool and it's acceptable. But if I were to, like, scream these opinions at people, whether I do it in person to somebody's face or I do it online where I don't have to take any responsibility for it, I just think that's shitty. So I'd rather just put it on a poster in bright colors and then it's like I feel like I'm at least making an effort to be a little bit more creative with it, you know, rather than just being like, this is my opinion, I'm right about everything, hashtag, I'm right about everything, hashtag, you should listen to me, hashtag. Please repeat what I'm saying so that I can get dopamine. See, I don't get dopamine from anybody liking my posters, you know. I like my posters. That's who's the source of the dopamine. It's me, okay? So, how many people in our society are just, like, allowing other people to dictate how they feel about themselves? Not just how they look at the world, but how they feel about themselves and how they're going to act in the future. I mean, that's contingent on today, you know? Like, people need to look at it like that. Like, everything's a cycle. So what you do today is going to impact what you do tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that, you know? So that's why people ought to think about their past. People ought to reflect on things that happened to them when they were a child or in school or you know, whatever happened that you swear up and down isn't that important. Probably is. Okay? So, your past is affecting who you are today. And who you are today will affect who you'll be tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, so I hate all the right shit. All the other comedians suck. I'm the best one. Okay? Now, y'all should check out Jake the Asshole if you haven't already. He's fucking hilarious. And he takes actual risks, too. Which is why nobody knows about him.